the Lions do go out to Arizona to play the Cardinals, and they're a budding team. Their organization hasn't always been run very well, and they haven't always been a good team, but they're coming. Like, there have been people comparing them to the Lions of 2021, maybe even getting into 2022. But they're a good team. The Lions head out there with a 1-1 record, needing to get their offense on track, needing to get their red zone offense on track, just needing to get back to their smooth winning ways. You know, the first 2 weeks they've been a struggle. We can call a spade a spade. They've been a struggle. They're a good enough team to have beaten the Rams. They let the Bucks get to them. But now we head out to Arizona, Kool-Aid, and they have a chance to get back on the schneid, go 2-1. Come back home. They got Seattle on Monday Night Football. I hear the marshmallows may be coming out. But we can't be looking for that. They got to go take care of business. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner,
It's a sneaky game. It's a sneaky game for the Detroit Lions, man. Their defense is going to have to be completely on point. This is one where, honestly, I know a lot of people are making a big woof about the Detroit Lions offense, but I am hoping that Aaron Glenn has the scheme cooked up, especially with Alex Anzalone. He's not going to be there. With him out, I don't underestimate that loss. Please don't, because he's been a demon to start the season for that Detroit Lions defense. You know I like my linebackers, and I'm hoping that Jack Campbell steps up, but I'm looking forward to whatever Aaron Glenn can do, man, to try and stop Kyler Murray and start to shed this narrative. Start to get rid of the playbook that people think they have on the Detroit Lions defense that, if you have a mobile quarterback, if you have a guy that just has a little bit of wiggle, you know what? You can beat the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Get rid of that kryptonite, man.
Yeah. At a high level, and I'm coming to you next, KG. Right. At a high level, I hadn't thought about it in terms of the Cardinals, but the offseason moves and how this team's constructed for the Lions, while I think they've built it just for themselves. They want to put the best roster that they believe together. I think they've also structured it in a way to match what some of the other NFC North teams are doing. In terms of mobile quarterbacks like Jordan Love, it was Justin Fields, now Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, needing speed and tacklers on the outside.
Yeah.
Brian Branch, Amik Robertson, Terran Arnold, and it's Rakestraw. Like, I think that's had to be at least part of the equation. What are some of the individual or just unit matchups that you're looking for, KG, with this Lions-Cardinals game in Arizona?
Definitely the linebackers against Kyler Murray, because he's going to scramble in this game. And last week, Baker Mayfield, he really hurt us on the ground late in that game. And he's not even the most mobile quarterback in the world. And we've seen this before. Brock Purdy in the NFC Championship game. I think Baker Mayfield only had like 50 yards rushing last week, but it came in crucial times. So really looking for what this linebacker core is going to be able to do, because you got to keep an eye on this guy. You need to at least limit what he's going to do on the ground. And if he's scrambling back there for 7 to 8 seconds, he can find a Marvin Harrison down the field. You know, they have a very good complement of receivers. So I really want them to clamp down on Kyler Murray as much as possible, and the rest will take care of itself. I believe in this secondary to be able to keep up with them. I believe in this defensive line being able to stop James Conner on the ground. Yeah. He's a good running back, but nobody runs the ball on us. I think we've only allowed, 50 yards to each running back through the first 2 games. So I'm really hopeful that this Lions defense can be able to contend with a scrambling quarterback like Kyler Murray, who has a big arm.
Yeah, and JB, KG brought up the linebackers, especially in terms of containing Kyler Murray. They also have a really good young tight end, Trey McBride, which those linebackers have responsibility too. Either A, how important are those linebackers in your eyes, or what's another matchup that you're keeping an eye on?
Well, the linebackers are definitely important, especially given everything that KG has said. This all comes down to containing Kyler Murray. That is your big focus. If you can contain Kyler Murray, the rest will fall into place. Because as KG said, I do believe in this secondary and these linebackers as well too. But I still want to see this matchup of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Terrion Arnold. Like I don't know if exactly they're going to be faced up against each other, but it is going to be one of the interesting matchups that I would like to kind of see a little bit more. Because now you're just kind of throwing them out there. You gave them that little test run against Mike Evans. It didn't really go as great as you thought it would, but now you got another test, another matchup with Marvin Harrison Jr., and you've seen what he's done the past 2 weeks. It's going to be a little tight, tense matchup, but I'm down for it. I really want to see it. I do think Terrion Arnold will make strides and be a lot better than we've seen this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking for even more physicality out of the Detroit Lions, man. that was a team that last year we knew that was their identity as a defense, and we heard teams crying about it. And I'm hoping just from a physicality standpoint, they can continue to be that team because that wears down those types of squads by the ends of games. I know that we talk about the 4.5 sacks from Aiden Hutchinson, but just from a physicality standpoint, there were a couple of hits, but I want to see this team take it to another level that was more reminiscent of last year's defense.
You talked about, or did you say you just? Am I reading something about Hutch, or did you just say something about Hutch?
Oh, I just said something.
And I just went haywire there for a second.
It's all good.
You just saw that live.
It happens.
Hutch is going against another backup right tackle.
Ooh.
Like Kyler Murray's elusive. He's a little boy. He's elusive. I don't want to. I'm not calling for 4.5 sacks, but we could see another big game out of Hutch.
We could. Like, but even if he were to get one sack, I don't think it's the like fans. Y'all need to chill. If he goes out there and gets one sack, it's not the end of the world, man. And that's actually a pretty decent game considering how mobile Kyler Murray is. Like I said, he's one of the more mobile quarterbacks in this league. He's not, Baker Mayfield. He's not Matthew Stafford. He will actually tear you up on the ground if you allow him.
Yeah, you're talking about mobile. It's like it's the shiftiness as well. When he runs and he starts to break containment and break people, he instantly looks like a running back.
Yeah.
And it's just like you got to take that threat seriously. And this is where that defensive line, the linebackers, and as well as any secondary help that you have as it relates to containment and spy, I'm hoping that when you get your opportunities, you got to make sure that you put some punishment. You got to make sure that you make him second guess or think twice, almost like the bad boy rules. You're going to play within the limit of the game, but make sure just that grit, that aspect of play that Dan Campbell talked about in his opener, I believe that has to be there 100%. Do I believe that this team is going to play perfectly on defense or offense? No. But that grit motor, whatever that grind is, that has to be there from start to absolute finish, no matter what happens. Even if Kyler on a play runs 40 yards and scores a touchdown, this team has to lock in, reload, and get right back into it.
And from what Kool-Aid just said, now you guys understand why Hutch is a captain in year 3?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, what do we need? We need that motor, all 4 quarters, all game long. We need all of those extra things.
He gonna give it to you.
Looking up on the depth chart, looking up at your teammate. Oh, Hutch, he does that. Oh, St. Brown?
You know what's crazy?
Sewell?
You know what's crazy? You want to talk about playing to the end of the game is the fact that I can say, hey, y'all remember that end of the game play that Aiden Hutchinson made? And we can think of several.
Yeah.
But I can't really think of that with any other defensive player except for maybe, Curbs?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. And I didn't even mean to set you guys up like this, but when we asked all these questions, the conversation we're having, it's about the defense. Mm-hmm. We're not worried about the offense. I mean, they have things to clean up, but it seems pretty neutral in this studio here that, hey, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not till week 6, but
right.
They'll be fine. And Weezy D brings up in the chat, Weezy D313, don't worry about AG. He's good. He does his job. It's the wonder boy, Ben Johnson, who needs to do something. Yeah. Not going to lie, guys. He's right. At this moment in time, he's right. And the offense there were so many question marks. Goff played bad. Ben Johnson called a bad game. The Dane Campbell mistakes, the field goal or snap ball. But we've been talking about them. We didn't even give AG his flowers this week. And we're not probably going to have time today. But he finally has dudes, and he's figuring it out. But that defense has been pretty damn good for 2 weeks in a row against 2 playoff teams with good offenses, one of which had 37 points week 1.
Good schemes, and it gave the team not just an opportunity to win, but an opportunity to come back in each of those games. And so it's just like, or in the last game. And so it's like the AG, to me, has been good. I know that on socials, we've tried to make sure we go out of our way to at least show that. Because when he was kind of struggling or when there were things that we questioned last year, we tried to make sure that we represented that as well. But this year, I can't really complain too much about AG. Those end of the game stops, 2, 3, 4 drives in a row sometimes, to get the ball back to your offense for an opportunity to win, you can't really complain about that. And you're holding these teams to, 20 points, give or take? It's you can't complain.
Dan Campbell and the offense gave the ball back to them with 53 seconds to go in a game. What'd they do? They got the ball back in 20 seconds.
They did.
That's impressive. And Phil put, special teams has been a problem. He has. What we talk about is probably the best or a top 5 special teams unit in the league.
Yeah.
The problems are the elite units that I'm not worried about.
Right.
I like that.